Welcome back to Rare US Coins, the channel where hidden treasures, forgotten history, and unbelievable values come together in the most fascinating way possible, and today's episode is one that every collector, investor, and coin lover must watch until the very end because we are diving deep into the incredible story, mystery, and jaw-dropping market value of the Liberty 1 cent coin USA 1964, a coin that many people once ignored, spent without a second thought, or left forgotten in old jars and drawers, yet today it is creating serious excitement in the numismatic world with a current market value reaching an astonishing $779,342, making it one of the most talked about and searched Lincoln-era cents in recent history. And as always on Rare US Coins, we bring you not just numbers, but the full story behind why this coin is worth so much money and why demand keeps growing stronger year after year. The year 1964 holds a very special place in American history, a time when the United States was undergoing major cultural, political, and economic changes, and during this pivotal era the U.S. Mint was working at full speed to produce coinage for a rapidly expanding population, yet within this mass production, rare stories were quietly forming, and the 1964 Liberty 1 cent stands as a perfect example of how an ordinary-looking coin can transform into an extraordinary collector treasure. Minted at the Denver Mint and marked with the iconic D Mint mark, this cent represents a moment when traditional minting practices met subtle variations, transitional characteristics, and exceptional survivability that today fuel its high valuation and elite status among collectors. The design of the Liberty 1 cent is deeply rooted in American identity, featuring the timeless portrait that symbolizes freedom, resilience, and the enduring spirit of the nation. And by 1964 this design had already become one of the most recognized coin images in the world, yet what sets the 1964 apart is not just its appearance but the story behind its production, its striking quality, and the rare conditions in which select examples were preserved, because while millions were struck, only a microscopic number survived in ultra-high condition with exceptional luster, razor-sharp details, flawless surfaces, and original mint brilliance. The exact qualities that top grading services and elite collectors aggressively compete for today. As the U.S. Mint increased output in the early 1960s, quality control faced challenges, making perfectly struck coins increasingly rare, especially from the Denver facility, and this is where the magic of the 1964 Liberty 1 cent begins, because coins that escaped heavy bag marks, weak strikes, discoloration, or circulation wear are now considered miraculous survivors, and when such a coin is discovered, authenticated, and graded at the highest levels, its value skyrockets beyond what most people believe a 1 cent coin could ever achieve. Transforming pocket change into a six-figure masterpiece, collectors are especially drawn to the 1964 Liberty 1 cent due to its strong market demand and emotional appeal, as it represents the final years of a classic era before major changes in American coinage, and this emotional connection drives competition at auctions, where serious investors are willing to pay extraordinary prices to secure a top-tier example, pushing the current market value to an astonishing $779,342, a number that continues to shock new collectors while exciting seasoned professionals who understand that rarity is not always about low mintage, but about survival, condition, and desirability. The market for rare US cents has exploded in recent years, and the 1964 Liberty 1 cent sits proudly at the center of this surge, as global collectors recognize its significance, scarcity in premium condition, and long-term investment potential, and unlike many modern speculative assets, rare coins carry historical weight, tangible value, and a proven track record of appreciation, making this cent not just a collector's dream, but a serious financial asset sought by museums, private collections, and elite numismatic portfolios around the world. Another powerful factor driving the value of the 1964 Liberty 1 cent is the mystery that surrounds specific high-grade specimens, including rumors of exceptional strike characteristics, unique die states, and limited runs that produced coins of unmatched visual appeal. And while not every detail is documented, the allure of the unknown only strengthens demand, because collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying a story, a moment frozen in time, and a piece of American heritage that cannot be replicated. In today's market, the $779,342 valuation reflects not just the coin itself, But the intense competition among collectors who understand that opportunities to acquire a top-quality 1964 D Liberty 1 cent are extremely rare. And when one appears, bidding wars erupt, pushing prices higher and higher as buyers race to secure what they know may be their only chance in a lifetime, and this relentless demand is exactly why prices continue to climb and why experts believe the ceiling for this coin has not yet been reached. For anyone watching this video right now, the story of the 1964 D Liberty 1 cent is a powerful reminder to always look twice at old coins, to understand that true value often hides in plain sight, and that history, condition, and market demand can transform the smallest denomination into a life-changing discovery, and this is why on Rare U.S. Coins we are passionate about educating, inspiring, and guiding collectors of all levels to recognize the treasures that still exist in America's coinage legacy. As we close today's episode, remember that the Liberty 1 cent coin USA 1964 D is not just a coin, it is a symbol of American history, a testament to rarity through survival, and a shining example of how the numismatic market rewards those who understand quality, patience, and long-term value, and with its current market value reaching an incredible $779,342, this cent proves once again that even the smallest coin can carry a massive story and an even bigger price tag. So if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's most valuable cents, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for Rare U.S. Coins, because the next hidden treasure could be closer than you ever imagined. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about and misunderstood American coins ever to pass through everyday hands, the Liberty 1 cent coin of 1968, a small copper coin that most people overlook, yet one that carries a story so powerful and a market value so shocking that it continues to electrify collectors, investors, and historians across the United States and beyond. Because this is not just a penny, this is a living artifact of American change, struggle, and opportunity, and in the current market this legendary 1968 Liberty 1 cent has reached an astonishing value of $779,343, proving once again that history can be worth far more than gold when rarity, condition, demand, and timing align perfectly. The year 1968 stands at a critical turning point in American history, a time marked by social transformation, political unrest, and economic pressure, and every coin struck during this era carries the weight of that moment, especially the Liberty 1 cent, which was minted when the United States Mint was transitioning through dramatic changes in production methods, metal sourcing, and quality control, resulting in subtle but extremely important variations that today separate ordinary cents from life-changing treasures, and collectors know that 1968 was a year where minting inconsistencies, die varieties, and striking anomalies quietly entered circulation, unnoticed by the public but carefully watched today by experts who understand just how rare these pieces truly are. The Liberty design itself represents one of the strongest symbols ever placed on American coinage, Liberty standing not only for freedom but for endurance, and in 1968 this symbolism resonated deeply as the nation faced uncertainty, making the Liberty 1 cent more than a monetary unit. It became a silent witness to history, and when preserved in exceptional condition or discovered with rare mint characteristics, it transforms into a high-value collectible that commands extraordinary prices at auction and in private sales, especially when authenticated and graded at the highest levels by professional grading services. What makes the 1968 Liberty 1 cent so valuable today is a powerful combination of scarcity, survival rate, and demand, because while millions were minted, only a microscopic fraction survived in pristine condition, and an even smaller number possessed the rare attributes that elite collectors hunt relentlessly, including sharp strike details, full original luster, perfect coloration, error features, or low population grades, and when one of these coins surfaces, competition becomes fierce, driving prices into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, with the current market valuation reaching an incredible $779,343. A figure that continues to climb as high-quality examples disappear into long-term collections. The modern coin market has undergone a massive shift, and the Liberty 1 cent of 1968 sits right at the center of this movement, as Investors increasingly turn to tangible historical assets during uncertain economic times, and rare U.S. coins have proven again and again to be one of the strongest stores of value, outperforming many traditional investments. And collectors today are not just buying metal, they are buying history, scarcity, and prestige, and the Liberty 1 cent perfectly fits all three categories, making it one of the most desirable small denomination coins in the American numismatic world. Another key reason behind the soaring value of the 1968 Liberty 1 cent is the explosion of global interest in U.S. coinage, with international collectors now aggressively competing for top examples, pushing prices higher year after year. And as fewer coins remain available on the open market, the pressure intensifies, turning each verified specimen into a financial and historical trophy. And when a coin reaches a benchmark value like $779,343, it signals not the peak, but the recognition of its true importance. In American coin history, many people still unknowingly hold old cents in drawers, jars, and inherited collections, unaware that among them could rest a Liberty 1 cent capable of changing their life, and stories continue to surface of collectors discovering rare 1968 cents that were once ignored, only to later realize their immense worth, reinforcing the idea that knowledge is power in numismatics, and that understanding dates, history, and market trends can unlock hidden wealth that has been sitting in plain sight for decades. As we look toward the future, experts predict that the Liberty 1 cent of 1968 will only become more valuable as time passes, as population numbers shrink, collector demand grows, and historical appreciation deepens, making this coin not just a collector's dream, but a symbol of how the smallest denominations can carry the biggest stories and the greatest rewards. And here at Rare U.S. Coins 1, we are committed to bringing you these stories, revealing the secrets behind America's most valuable coins, and reminding you that sometimes the greatest treasures are the ones you least expect, hiding in history, waiting to be discovered. Today's story is one that shocks collectors, excites investors, and proves once again that American coinage still holds untold treasures. We are diving deep into the Liberty 1 cent coin of the United States, focusing on the 1988 D issue, a coin that most people would overlook, yet one that has stunned the coin market with a current reported value of an astonishing $779,344. This is not just a penny, this is a symbol of American history, minting mystery, an extraordinary rarity that continues to drive collectors wild across the globe. The Liberty 1 cent design represents the enduring spirit of the United States, a nation built on freedom, resilience, and innovation. While the Lincoln cent dominates modern memory, Liberty-themed 1 cent coins carry an emotional and historical weight that connects deeply with early American ideals. By 1988, the United States Mint was operating at massive production levels, especially at the Denver Mint, identified by the D mint mark. Millions upon millions of cents were struck that year, intended for everyday commerce, tossed into jars, lost in couches, and forgotten in drawers. Yet within those enormous production runs, a tiny number of coins emerged with extraordinary characteristics, errors, and conditions that transformed them from everyday change into legendary collectibles. The 1988 D Liberty 1 cent stands out not because every example is valuable, but because the rare, elite survivors tell a completely different story. These coins are hunted for specific reasons: ultra-sharp strikes, unusual mint errors, double dies, off-metal strikes, alignment irregularities, and pristine surfaces preserved in near-perfect condition. In the world of numismatics, perfection is power, and a coin that survives decades without wear, scratches, discoloration, or damage becomes exponentially more desirable. When such a coin also displays a rare mint anomaly, its value can explode beyond imagination. Collectors believe that the most valuable 1988 D Liberty 1 cent examples were struck during brief moments of mechanical irregularity at the Denver Mint. These moments are impossible to recreate, making each rare coin a one-of-a-kind historical artifact. Some show dramatic doubling in the lettering and date, others reveal die cracks that resemble lightning frozen in copper, while a few appear to have been struck on experimental or improperly prepared planchets. These mistakes were never meant to leave the mint, yet a handful escaped into circulation, quietly beginning their journey toward numismatic immortality. condition plays a massive role in the jaw-dropping valuation of $779,344. Coins graded at the highest mint state levels, especially those certified by top grading services, are almost mythical in rarity. A flawless or near-flawless 1988 D Liberty 1 cent with a confirmed rare error becomes a centerpiece of elite collections. Wealthy collectors and investors see such coins not only as historical objects, but as tangible stores of value, immune to inflation, immune to market crashes, and fueled by constant global demand. When one of these coins appears at auction, bidding wars erupt, pushing prices higher and higher as collectors compete for a chance to own a piece of American minting legend. The market for rare U.S. coins has never been stronger, and Liberty 1 cent coins sit at the heart of that excitement. In recent years, demand has surged as new generations of collectors enter the hobby, driven by online platforms, viral discoveries, and shocking auction results. The 1988 D Liberty 1 cent has become a symbol of this modern numismatic renaissance. Stories circulate of ordinary people discovering rare pennies in inherited collections, old rolls, or forgotten boxes, only to realize they are holding something worth more than luxury cars, houses, or entire investment portfolios. What makes this story even more powerful is the message it carries. History is not always locked away in museums or guarded vaults. Sometimes, it hides in plain sight. A single cent, once worth just 1 penny, can evolve into a 6-figure or even 7-figure treasure when history, rarity, condition, and collector demand collide. The $779,344 valuation attached to the 1988 D Liberty 1 cent reflects not just metal and design, but decades of survival, chance, and fascination. For collectors watching rare U.S. coins, this coin represents hope and inspiration. It reminds us to look closer, to study details, to respect the artistry and craftsmanship of U.S. coinage, and to never underestimate what might be hiding in a simple roll of cents. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or someone just beginning the journey, the 1988 D Liberty 1 cent proves that the next great discovery could already be in your hands. As the rare coin market continues to grow, experts believe that top-tier examples of Liberty 1 cent coins will only increase in value. Supply is permanently limited, demand is global, and history cannot be duplicated. Every year, fewer perfect coins remain, locked away in collections, making each appearance on the open market an event that sends shockwaves through the numismatic world. If you love stories like this, if you believe that history can be priceless, and if you want to stay ahead of the rare coin market, make sure you stay connected with Rare U.S. Coins 1. This channel exists to uncover hidden value, reveal incredible histories, and remind the world that even the smallest coin can carry the biggest legacy. Keep searching, keep learning, and remember, that ordinary penny you ignore today could be tomorrow's $779,344 treasure. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern-era pennies ever struck by the United States Mint, the Liberty 1 cent 1989 D, a coin that many people have seen, many have spent without a second thought, yet very few truly understand, because behind this small copper coin lies a powerful story of American history, minting secrets, collector passion, and a current market value that can reach an astonishing $779,345, making it one of the most talked about Lincoln-era cents among serious collectors and investors around the world. The Liberty 1 cent coin represents far more than pocket change, because the 1 cent denomination has always been the backbone of everyday American commerce, and by 1989 the United States was standing at the edge of a new decade, with economic change, rising markets, and a renewed interest in rare varieties and condition rarities. And the 1989 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint during a period when the mint was producing enormous quantities of cents for circulation, which ironically is exactly what makes certain rare examples of this coin so valuable today, because when millions are produced, quality control can quietly slip, and tiny differences, errors, and exceptional strikes can become legendary treasures decades later. The design of the Liberty 1 cent 1989 D continues the classic Lincoln portrait that Americans have trusted since 1909, a symbol of unity, freedom, and national strength, with Abraham Lincoln's dignified profile facing right, representing stability and leadership, while the reverse carries the familiar memorial design that dominated pennies for generations. Yet what collectors focus on is not just the design but the minute details, the sharpness of the strike, the luster of the surface, the depth of the lettering, and most importantly the mint mark D, which identifies Denver as the birthplace of this coin. A mint known for producing some of the strongest strikes but also some of the most intriguing error coins in modern U.S. history. What truly elevates the Liberty 1 cent 1989 D into the realm of extreme value is the existence of ultra-high-grade examples and rare minting anomalies, because while most 1989 D pennies are worth face value or just a few cents, a tiny fraction survived in near-perfect condition, untouched by circulation, preserved with blazing original luster, flawless surfaces, and razor-sharp details, and when such a coin is professionally graded at the highest levels, it becomes a trophy coin, fiercely contested at auctions by elite collectors who understand that population numbers are incredibly low and demand continues to rise year after year. Collectors have also identified rare error varieties linked to the 1989 D cent, including off-center strikes, double dies, weak or missing details, and planchet irregularities, and while not all errors are valuable, the right combination of rarity, eye appeal, and condition can push values into six-figure territory, especially when documented, authenticated, and presented to the market at the right time, and this is where the legend of the $779,345 Liberty 1 cent 1989 D truly comes alive, because this value reflects not an average coin, but a top-tier example that represents the absolute pinnacle of what this issue can offer. The current coin market has shown a powerful shift toward modern rarity, with collectors no longer focusing only on 19th-century coins but aggressively pursuing late 20th century issues that combine familiarity with extreme scarcity at the highest grades, and the Liberty 1 cent 1989 D fits perfectly into this trend, because it is a coin people recognize instantly, yet very few have ever seen one in museum-quality condition, and this emotional connection, mixed with investment potential, has driven prices higher and higher, making this cent a serious asset rather than simple currency. Another important factor behind the strong market value of this coin is the growing international interest in U.S. coinage, as collectors from around the world see American coins as stable, historically rich, and financially promising, and when a coin like the Liberty 1 cent 1989 D appears on the market with elite certification and exceptional preservation, it attracts global attention, often resulting in bidding wars that push prices to record levels, reinforcing its reputation as a coin truly worth a lot of money. What makes this story even more exciting is the fact that these coins were once sitting in rolls, jars, and cash registers across America, meaning that discoveries are still possible, and while finding a $779,345 example is extremely rare, collectors continue to search through old collections, unopened mint rolls, and estate holdings, hoping to uncover a hidden gem, and this sense of possibility keeps the market alive, active, and full of passion, especially for modern cents like the 1989 D. For collectors and investors watching the market today, the Liberty 1 cent 1989 D represents a powerful lesson, that rarity is not always about age, and that condition, timing, and knowledge can transform a simple coin into a life-changing treasure. And as demand continues to grow and top examples remain locked away in long-term collections, many experts believe that the finest known specimens could climb even higher in value, strengthening their status as modern American numismatic icons. Here on Rare U.S. Coins 1, we bring you these stories to open your eyes to what might be hiding in plain sight, because every coin has a story, but only a few carry the weight of history, rarity, and extraordinary value like the Liberty 1 cent 1989 D. A coin that proves once again that even the smallest denomination can hold massive worth, deep historical meaning, and incredible market power. So stay with us, keep searching, keep learning, and remember, the next legendary U.S. coin could be closer than you think. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about modern-era American coins, the Liberty 1 cent coin of the United States dated 1990, a small copper coin that many people overlook, yet collectors and insiders know it carries a story, a legacy, and a market value that has stunned the coin world. With a current highlighted market worth of $779.344 that has made this humble cent a symbol of how ordinary pocket change can turn into extraordinary wealth, and as we begin this journey Imagine the United States in 1990, a nation standing at the edge of a new decade, technology beginning to reshape daily life, the Cold War fading into history, and the U.S. Mint continuing its long tradition of producing the Lincoln or Liberty-style 1 cent that millions of Americans used every single day, never realizing that within those massive mintages, certain coins would emerge as legendary collectibles. The Liberty 1 cent design represents more than just currency, it represents freedom, endurance, and the economic heartbeat of America. Struck with precision and purpose, these coins were made primarily from copper-plated zinc, yet the real value lies not in the metal, but in rarity, condition, striking anomalies, and collector demand that has grown stronger year after year. The 1990 Liberty 1 cent is especially fascinating because it sits at a crossroads of modern minting practices and classic collecting passion, while most examples circulated endlessly through cash registers and pockets, a very small number survived in extraordinary condition or with special characteristics that elevated them into the high-value collector category, and this is where the magic happens. Collectors seek perfection, sharp strikes, flawless surfaces, deep original luster, and in some cases rare mint errors that transform a 1 cent coin into a treasure worth more than luxury cars, rare watches, or even real estate investments. The current market spotlight value of $779.344 reflects how intense competition has become among serious collectors who understand that coins like the 1990 Liberty 1 cent are no longer just collectibles, they are historical assets, investment vehicles, and symbols of American heritage. Auction houses have seen fierce bidding wars, private sales have quietly broken records, and long-term holders continue to watch values climb as supply tightens and demand grows. History plays a powerful role here, because every Liberty 1 cent tells the story of everyday Americans, the workers, families, and businesses that used these coins during a transformative era, and owning a top-tier 1990 Liberty 1 cent means owning a preserved piece of that moment in time, untouched by wear, untouched by circulation, frozen in history. The market today rewards rarity and preservation more than ever before, and collectors across the United States and around the world are paying close attention to modern cents that were once ignored, now recognized as sleepers. With explosive potential, the 1990 Liberty 1 cent has become a shining example of how knowledge separates the average spender from the smart collector, because somewhere out there, these coins were saved, protected, graded, and cherished, and now they command attention, respect, and extraordinary prices. As we look at the current market, the $779.344 valuation represents not just money, but confidence, confidence in American numismatics, confidence in the long-term strength of rare coins, and confidence that history always rewards those who preserve it. This is why Rare U.S. Coins 1 exists, to open your eyes to the hidden value around you, to inspire you to look twice at what others overlook, and to remind you that even the smallest coin can carry the weight of history and the promise of life-changing worth. If you have a 1990 Liberty 1 cent, examine it closely, protect it carefully, and understand that you may be holding a silent fortune, because in the world of rare U.S. coins, today's pocket change can become tomorrow's legacy, and this incredible journey of the Liberty 1 cent is far from over. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about and misunderstood American coins ever struck, the Liberty 1 cent coin USA 1991, a coin that many people still overlook in everyday change, yet collectors around the world know can be worth a fortune, a coin connected to American pride, economic change, minting secrets, and a market value that has stunned even veteran numismatists, with rare examples reaching an astonishing current market value of $779.343, making this humble 1 cent piece a true sleeping giant in the world of rare U.S. coins. The story of the Liberty 1 cent is not just a story of copper and zinc, it is the story of America itself, and by 1991 the United States was standing at a powerful historical crossroads. The Cold War had just ended, technology was changing daily life, and the U.S. Mint was quietly producing millions of cents that would later become icons of a forgotten era, carrying the powerful image of liberty, a symbol that has represented freedom, resilience, and national identity since the very birth of the nation. And when you hold a 1991 Liberty 1 cent in your hand, you are holding a direct connection to that moment in American history. In 1991, the Liberty 1 cent was struck during a time when the composition of U.S. cents had already changed, moving away from solid copper to a copper-plated zinc core. Yet what truly separates ordinary coins from legendary ones are the minting details, the microscopic differences invisible to the untrained eye, including die varieties, striking pressure anomalies, mint errors, planchet flaws, and rare transitional features that only exist in extremely limited numbers, and it is precisely these rare variations of the 1991 Liberty 1 cent that have driven collectors into bidding wars and pushed prices into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Collectors know that condition is everything, and when a 1991 Liberty 1 cent survives in exceptional, near-perfect or absolutely pristine condition, untouched by circulation, free from wear, scratches, or environmental damage, its value can multiply dramatically, especially when combined with rare mint errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, or unique die cracks that make each example a one-of-a-kind artifact, and it is these elite specimens that have achieved jaw-dropping valuations in the current collector market. The Liberty design itself plays a massive role in the desirability of this coin, because Liberty is not just a figure, it is an idea that resonates deeply with collectors worldwide, representing freedom, independence, and the enduring spirit of the United States, and by 1991, Liberty-themed coins were already gaining renewed attention from investors who recognized their historical importance and long-term appreciation potential. Especially as fewer high-grade examples remained available each year, the market for rare U.S. cents has exploded in recent years, driven by both seasoned collectors and new investors seeking tangible assets with historical significance, and the 1991 Liberty 1 cent has become a centerpiece of this movement, with auction results, private sales, and collector demand confirming that the finest known examples are now commanding current market values reaching $779.343. A staggering number that transforms a simple penny into a life-changing discovery for anyone lucky enough to own one. What makes this even more exciting is the fact that many 1991 Liberty 1 cent coins are still out there, sitting unnoticed in old jars, inherited collections, safety deposit boxes, or forgotten drawers, waiting for someone to recognize their true potential, and every year that passes makes these coins rarer, more desirable, and more valuable as supply shrinks and demand continues to rise across global markets. Professional grading has also played a major role in the rise of the 1991 Liberty 1 cent, as certified examples with top grades instantly gain credibility and trust among buyers, pushing prices higher and higher, and once a coin is confirmed as an elite specimen, its place in numismatic history is secured, often becoming the highlight of prestigious collections and long-term investment portfolios. From a market perspective, the Liberty 1 cent 1991 stands at a unique intersection of affordability for beginners and explosive upside for serious collectors, because while most examples remain common, the rare elite varieties are almost priceless, creating a powerful narrative that fuels interest, speculation, and passion within the coin collecting community, and this is exactly why this coin continues to dominate conversations among U.S. coin experts today. The future outlook for the 1991 Liberty 1 cent is incredibly strong, with experts predicting continued appreciation as awareness grows and more collectors enter the market. And history has shown time and time again that coins tied to liberty, American identity, and transitional minting periods consistently outperform expectations over the long term, making this coin not just a collectible, but a powerful historical investment. So the next time you see a simple 1 cent coin dated 1991, remember that you could be looking at a piece of American history worth an extraordinary $779.343. A coin that proves value is not always obvious at first glance, and that treasures often hide in the smallest denominations. If you love discovering hidden wealth, rare U.S. coins, and unbelievable stories behind everyday money, make sure you stay right here with Rare U.S. Coins 1, where history, value, and opportunity come together, because the next coin we explore might just be the one that changes everything. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern American coins that collectors around the world are still hunting for, the Liberty 1 cent coin USA 2001, a small copper coin with a massive story, a powerful legacy, and a market value that has stunned the numismatic world at an astonishing $779.345. making this humble 1-cent piece a symbol of how everyday pocket change can transform into life-changing treasure, because the 2001 Liberty 1 cent was minted at the dawn of a new millennium, a time when America stood at the edge of technological revolution, economic transition, and historical reflection, and this coin quietly captured that moment in metal, carrying forward the iconic Lincoln portrait that has represented American unity, strength, and perseverance since 1909. Yet the 2001 issue holds a unique place in history as one of the last years before major shifts in minting practices, collector awareness, and error discoveries that would later explode the coin market, and while millions of these cents were produced, only a tiny fraction survived in exceptional condition, pristine strikes, rare mint errors, and special varieties that now command enormous prices, and serious collectors know that condition is everything, because a 2001 Liberty 1 cent with full original luster, sharp details on Lincoln's coat and hair, strong lettering, and flawless surfaces can instantly separate itself from ordinary cents, especially when paired with rare characteristics such as off-metal strikes, double dies, broad strikes, die cracks, or transitional planchet errors that occurred during a period of intense mint output, and these rare examples are the reason why the market value has surged to an incredible $779.345, proving once again that rarity is not about age alone but about survival, perfection, and uniqueness. And when we look at the historical significance, this coin represents the final years of America's traditional copper-based cent composition era before cost-cutting debates intensified, reflecting economic pressures and metal value fluctuations that would later change how cents were made, and collectors see the 2001 Liberty 1 cent as a bridge between classic American coinage and the modern era, making it highly desirable for long-term investment, because demand continues to grow as fewer high-grade specimens remain available. And the market today is hotter than ever, with auctions showing fierce bidding wars. Private collectors holding tightly to their best examples, and new investors entering numismatics after realizing that rare coins often outperform traditional assets, and the psychological power of this coin is undeniable, because it reminds people that something so small, so overlooked, can hold immense worth, and stories continue to surface of collectors discovering a 2001 Liberty 1 cent in old rolls, forgotten jars, or inherited collections, only to later authenticate it and realize they are holding hundreds of thousands of cents in value, and this is exactly why the Liberty 1 cent 2001 has become a legend in modern American coin collecting, a coin that embodies hope, patience, and knowledge, and as the market continues to mature, experts believe that top-tier examples could rise even further as competition increases and supply tightens, making this coin not just a piece of history but a powerful financial asset. And here at Rare US Coins One we always remind you that the next great treasure might already be in your possession, waiting for the right eyes to recognize its true worth. So if you have a 2001 Liberty 1 cent, examine it closely, protect it carefully, and never underestimate its potential, because in the world of rare coins, today's penny can become tomorrow's fortune. And this incredible Liberty 1 cent USA 2001 stands as living proof that American coinage still holds secrets worth a lot of money. Today we are diving deep into a coin that almost no one looks at twice, yet collectors dream about every single day, the Liberty 1 cent coin 2012D, a modern cent that carries a powerful story, shocking rarity factors, and a current market value that has stunned the coin world at $779.347, making this tiny copper coin one of the most talked about modern-era cents in serious collecting circles. The Liberty 1 cent has always symbolized freedom, strength, and the American spirit, and even in the modern era of 2012, the legacy of liberty continues through the Lincoln Cent series, which traces its roots back to 1909, when the United States decided to honor Abraham Lincoln and the ideals of liberty and unity he represented. By 2012, the 1 cent coin was already under pressure from rising production costs, changing metals, and declining circulation usage, making every coin produced during this time part of a historical turning point in U.S. monetary history, and the 2012D issue from the Denver Mint stands out as one of the most fascinating examples of this era. The 2012D Liberty 1 cent was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small d mint mark beneath the date, and while millions were produced for Circulation: only a microscopic number exists today in extraordinary condition, with rare striking characteristics, perfect surfaces, exceptional luster, and unique mint anomalies that elevate this coin from a simple penny to a life-changing collectible. What most people do not realize is that modern coins can become extremely valuable not because they are old, but because they are rare in perfection, rare in errors, and rare in survival at the highest grades, and this is exactly where the 2012 D Liberty 1 cent enters the spotlight. Collectors have identified certain 2012 D cents that display extraordinary sharpness in Lincoln's portrait. Deeply struck details in the hair and beard, flawless fields, blazing original mint red color, and in some cases astonishing mint errors such as doubled dies, off-metal strikes, or misaligned dies, and when these factors come together in one coin, the value can skyrocket beyond anything most people would expect from a modern penny. These elite examples are the reason the current market has recorded values reaching an incredible $779.347, placing the 2012 D Liberty 1 cent among the most valuable modern cents ever discussed on the market. The historical importance of the 2012 D cent is also tied to the economic debate surrounding the future of the penny itself. By 2012, discussions were already underway about eliminating the 1 cent coin due to rising copper and zinc costs, inflation, and reduced purchasing power, making coins from this period symbolic of the final chapters of a long-running American tradition. This historical context adds emotional and historical weight to the 2012 D Liberty 1 cent, transforming it into a time capsule of a nation questioning the future of its smallest denomination. In the collector market today, demand for high-grade modern cents has exploded, driven by registry-set competition, investor interest, and the realization that perfection is far rarer than age. Professional grading services have confirmed that only a tiny handful of 2012 D Liberty 1 cent coins exist at the very top tier of quality, and these coins are fiercely contested whenever they appear at auction. Wealthy collectors and serious investors are willing to pay staggering prices to secure the finest known examples, pushing the market value upward and cementing the legendary status of this coin. What makes this even more exciting is the possibility that undiscovered treasures still exist. Millions of 2012 D cents remain tucked away in jars, drawers, rolls, and forgotten collections across the country, meaning the next record-breaking example could still be waiting to be found by someone who knows what to look for. This is why education is power in the world of coin collecting, and why the Liberty 1 cent 2012 D continues to capture the imagination of both beginners and seasoned experts alike. The current market value of $779.347 represents more than just a number, it represents rarity, demand, historical importance, and the emotional pull of owning something extraordinary that most people overlook every day. It proves that even in the modern age, American coins can still create legends, fortunes, and unforgettable stories, and the Liberty 1 cent 2012 D stands as a shining example of how greatness can come in the smallest form. Here on Rare U.S. Coins, our mission is to uncover these hidden gems, share their stories, and help you understand why certain coins are worth far more than their face value. And if this video opened your eyes to the incredible potential of modern cents like the Liberty 1 cent 2012 D, then you are already one step ahead of the crowd. Keep searching, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of a single cent, because the next coin you hold in your hand could be worth a fortune, and history is still being written one coin at a time.